The truth about rape. Rape is something that no one likes to talk about, ever. And when we do, we try to mask it or hide it or cover it up, make funny jokes, or shoot it under the rug. It happens more often than not than we think, and most of the time it happens with people close to us. It could be our relatives, our loved ones, anyone. More often than not, it happens in the African American culture and with our relatives as well. So, the truth about rape is that it happens very, very quite often. And usually in your household, in your very household. A lot of times, rape victims, being a rape victim myself, it makes me feel disgusted. I wake up feeling disgusted on a daily basis. I often ask why I'm here, why I'm alive. And I often just want to die. I don't want to live, basically. And this is something that I deny within myself. Because what happened to me, it's like I don't want to live with that pain or I often feel like the person who did this deserves to die, or they're getting away with something, or they took something from me or stole something from me. And often or not in our culture, in our society, rapists do get away with it. A lot of times when rape happens in families, people go in denial, or they excuse it. A lot of times women are always, the blame is always put on the victim. Whether the victim was dressing a certain way, acting a certain way, or just the simple fact that you have a vagina and that the person wanted you at the time. That's all that matters. A lot of times rape is idolized in porn. And in our culture, the youth watches porn a lot. And what has be increasingly more popular is rape violence or aggressive rape. And so a lot of people's perception is distorted. By no means does this make it okay to rape anyone. But people who are porn addicts tend to confuse real life with that fucking life, I suppose. But yeah, so the truth about rape is that it's nothing that can just be excused, or it's not something that you can just say, suck it up, or move on, or you can't expect someone who was raped to not have a trauma scar or difficulties living their life, difficulties navigating their daily activities, difficulties socializing or trusting people or mingling or whatever. You can't just say, tell it to go away, basically. rape also happens a lot in dorm rooms in colleges. It sounds cliche, but it really does happen outside of movies. Whether it's a frat party, whether it's parties, whether it's just a dorm room. Oftentimes, rape also happens with young women under the age of 18 who are very gullible and insecure or wants attention. People prey on people who are young or young women. A lot of time rape happens with young women who can't fend for themselves, and the men around them know that. Now, rape also happens to men and boys, but often more times than not, it happens to women, and it doesn't get enough attention as it should. And people often dismiss it. It has become so much so the norm that when I talk up to the women close to me, more often than not, they have been molested by someone in their family or raped when they're younger, or some point in their timeline they were molested or touched or whatever it could be. But it's become so common that we just write it off as normal. But it's not normal. It holds a lot of emotional traumas, wounds, or why you can't function in your dating life, in relationships, in life in general. And it is the reason why there are so much suicide rates in our culture, and why people feel unworthy and willing to just die and not go on. Now, it is something that women also blame other women for things that happen to them as well, called victim blaming. Now, this doesn't just happen from men. This happens from women as well who have a male-dominated ego, meaning boys will be boys. So, do we let people keep getting away with this? Or when are we going to hit this nail on the head and realize that rape is never okay? If you have been raped and you have a trauma scar, know that you're not alone.